My husband treated me like a free family maid, making me cook for 40 people, and I finally had enough. Hey Reddit, I need to get something off my chest. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 10 years. At first, I thought his family was just the usual big, loud bunch who enjoyed spending time together. But as time passed, I began to see things a little differently. His family wasn't just close. They were overbearing, demanding, and totally convinced that women existed solely to cook, clean, and serve. My family, completely different. We take turns hosting holidays, we pitch in with cooking and cleaning, and most importantly, we respect each other's personal space and boundaries. From the moment we got married, it was clear that I had inherited all the holiday hosting duties. I thought it was a one-time thing. Thanksgiving, 40 people, fine, I could handle it. But then Christmas rolled around. Mark's mom just said, let us know what time to come over, like it was a given that I would be the one cooking. No one offered to help. No one even asked if I needed anything. It wasn't just Thanksgiving anymore. It was every holiday, every birthday, and every family get-together. 40 plus people all stuffing their faces while I sweated in the kitchen. Meanwhile, the men sat around drinking beer, and the women gossiped in the living room. And Mark? He never lifted a finger. If I asked him for help, he'd say, it's just what wives do. Last Christmas was the breaking point. I spent 2 full days cooking, and by the time dinner came around, I was exhausted. My feet were sore, my back was killing me, and I hadn't had time to eat all day. I finally sat down with a plate of food when Mark walked into the kitchen with a big smile on his face. Looks like he was about to tell me some amazing news. Mom and the aunts were talking, he said, and they decided you're going to host every holiday from now on since you're the best cook. I stared at him, completely dumbfounded. Excuse me. He just shrugged. It's not a big deal, babe. It's just what wives do. That was it. That was the moment I snapped. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just nodded and said, of course. And then I made a plan. First update, that night, after cleaning up the kitchen alone while everyone else laughed and drank in the living room, I went online and booked a 6-month trip to Europe. I'd been saving money for years, not for anything specific, but just a just-in-case fund. Well, just in case it arrived. I booked flights, reserved hotels, and mapped out an itinerary that would take me through Europe, South America, and anywhere else I felt like going. Then sent an email to Mark's family. Merry Christmas, everyone! Exciting news! I've been offered an incredible opportunity for a 6-month international culinary program starting this spring. I'll be traveling across Europe to study regional cooking techniques. Unfortunately, that means I won't be able to host any holidays this year, but I'm sure one of you will step up. Much love, me. Was it a real program? No. Did I care? Also, no. The next Mark was scrolling through his phone when he suddenly froze. What the hell is this? He demanded. I sipped my coffee, trying to look innocent. What's what? This email? You're going away for 6 months? Oh, yeah. I smiled. Didn't I tell you? I got into a culinary program. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. His face went pale. Oh, but what about the holidays? Who's going to cook? I shrugged. I don't know. I'm sure someone will figure it out. It's just what families do, right? Within 10 minutes, his mom was calling me, screeching into the phone about how I was abandoning them. His sisters flooded me with texts. You're ruining the family. Just cancel your trip. You're being selfish. What kind of wife just leaves her husband like this? And my favorite text from his mom, you need to start acting like a real wife. To which I replied, funny, I thought a real wife was supposed to be loved and appreciated, not treated like a free catering service. Mark spent the next week trying everything. First, he tried sweet-talking me. Babe, you know I love cooking. I just don't want to celebrate the holidays without you. Then he tried guilt. We're really going to leave me alone for 6 months? What am I supposed to do? Then came anger. You're acting like a selfish brat. You're my wife, and you're just abandoning me. Nothing worked. I packed my bags the night before my flight. He tried one last thing. If you don't cancel this trip and come home, we're done. I looked him in the eye and said, okay. I left the next morning, turned off my phone, and didn't check my emails for the first time in a decade. Some of you are asking if I told Mark's family what I was doing. I did tell them in the email, but I didn't give them details. I didn't owe them an explanation. A lot of people here seem to think I should have given him more chances. But after 10 years of not being heard, I had to take action. This was me taking control of my life. Thank you for understanding. Second update, I spent my holidays exactly how I wanted to, drinking wine in Italy, eating fresh pastries in France, and walking on the beaches of Greece. Back home, Mark and his family were losing their minds. I spent my first few weeks abroad in pure bliss, drinking cappuccinos in Rome, wandering through lavender fields in Provence, and eating my weight in fresh pastries in Vienna. I kept my phone off, ignored my emails, and for the first time in years, I felt like I could finally breathe. But then one night in Barcelona, I turned my phone back on. The first thing that hit me was notifications. 37 missed calls from Mark, hundreds of texts from his family, and one passive-aggressive email from his mom. Hope you have fun ruining Christmas. Curious, I started scrolling through the messages, and that's when I started laughing. It turns out, without me there, the holidays were a complete disaster. Thanksgiving, they tried ordering everything pre-cooked from the grocery store, but someone forgot to pick it up. The store sold it to someone else, and they ended up eating microwaved hot dogs for Thanksgiving dinner. Christmas, Mark's sister tried to cook, but set the oven on fire, and the whole kitchen had to be repainted. New Year's. Mark's family assumed he'd host since I was gone, but Mark assumed one of his sisters would do it. and they ended up eating potato chips and drinking warm beer. Easter? Takeout Chinese food. But the real drama? Without me there to play hostess, peacemaker, and unpaid chef, the family started turning on each other. Mark's mom blamed him for letting me go. His sisters accused him of being a pathetic husband who couldn't even keep his wife in line. His aunts and uncles were mad because they were used to gourmet meals every holiday, and now they were stuck with burnt casseroles and box stuffing. Then Mark made a huge mistake. Somewhere between Christmas and Easter, Mark started dating someone new. Her name was Lisa. She was a great cook, she was sweet, and she had no idea what she was walking into. Lisa thought she was dating a nice guy from a big, loving family. She had no clue that Mark's family was just grooming her to be the next unpaid servant. Lisa wasn't as nice as they thought. On Easter, she cooked an entire holiday meal by herself, just like I used to. She asked for help with the dishes, and Mark's mom told her, "Oh, no, dear, that's your job now." Lisa walked out. Mark chased after her. Lisa dumped him on the spot. Edit. Some of you have asked why Mark's mom kept pushing all the responsibilities onto me. Honestly, I think she just assumed I wouldn't ever leave. She treated me like a worker, not a daughter-in-law. And it seemed like everyone just went along with it. Now that I think about it, I don't think they ever took me seriously as an individual. It was always about what I could do for them. I'm glad I finally took control and did something for me. Final update. Mark showed up at my parents' house, crying and begging. He said he had made a huge mistake. He promised he would help with cooking and cleaning if I came home, but I wasn't home. I was in Greece drinking wine on a balcony, watching his life fall apart from a distance. Then I got an email from Mark's mom. She told me to be careful. Mark wasn't handling things well. She said he was saying some unsettling things, and I needed to come back before things got worse. But I didn't reply. A few weeks later, I got a call from my brother. Mark had gone to my parents' house saying he was there to pick me up. When my parents told him I wasn't there, he did. He stood outside for 3 hours, refusing to leave. Eventually, my mom called the police, but he was gone before they arrived. That's when I made a decision. Mark wanted me home? Fine. I'd come back, but not the way he expected. I landed back home in the middle of the night. It had been 6 months. 6 months since I had cooked a meal for that ungrateful family, 6 months since I had been treated like a free maid, and now I was back to end it. When I stepped into the house, I knew something was wrong. The lights were on, and the door was unlocked. Mark was standing at the top of the stairs wearing the same sweatshirt he had on the night I left. When he saw me, his face went pale. He whispered, "No." I swallowed hard. Mark, I knew you'd come back. He smiled. "You always do." I stepped forward. "I know, Mark. I left because I'm done." His face twisted in confusion and then rage. "You can't just leave. You can't just walk away from me, from this family." I stood tall. "I'm not walking away. I'm freeing myself from people who treated me like garbage." Mark lunged at me, but before he could get close, my brother stepped in. He shoved Mark back, and the plate on the table crashed to the floor. Mark slumped, breathing hard. "You did this?" he whispered, his voice cracking. "No," I said quietly. "You did." I walked away. And for the first time in years, I felt free.